And we're back in the new workshop, and the first sculpt in this space is Mariah Carey, so let's get to it. I've decided to leave out the sculpting and the mold making process of this project and focus on paint. So here we go, let's get painting. Let's build up Mariah Carey's skin tone by first starting with a nice peachy color, and we'll take it from there. I've gone ahead and added some burnt sienna to my already existing peachy tone that I just used, and it makes it nice because everything builds up flawlessly. There's no crazy lines of demarcation. You always want to add the next color to this color you used prior so that you get a good blending. At least that's what I do. Whatever you guys do, if something else, let me know. So far, I can see the contour starting to appear, so I'm very happy with the colors I've chose. Let's keep going and see what comes out. Okay, now it's time to add a little bit of like a tannish brown to this paint so we can get some serious shadows and make these features pop. And I'm going to add a little bit of pink to my already existing paint mixture and just give her a little rosiness, and I think we'll be done because it's looking like her skin color. Wait, I should probably check in with Costas. I'll get back to you guys. Alright, let's blush this mask up. Using my pan pastel as always, I will begin the ritual with burnt sienna because I'm obsessed apparently. So let's go. And we're going to build up our shadows and our tones very slowly with this pan pastel because it is very permanent, and once it's on, as I mentioned in other videos. So we're going to work slowly and step back and look and take our time to make sure that we don't mess her up or make her look like a clown, which I've done that before and we won't be doing that again. Alright, let's add a little violet to the mix and bring this a little more depth and a little more tonality. And you can see it just looks a little more real just by adding that little bit. So let's get to it. Alright, I'm going to add a little blush to finalize this contour, and we are done with this blush portion. I will seal it and move on to painting the eyes, which is always my favorite part. And I'm going to use Vallejo to paint these eyes and teeth using the same color. So I will use light flesh or lightest flesh and medium gray to achieve the color I want. Now we're going to paint the teeth, being very careful with this brush and making sure that we don't get any of the paint in between the teeth where the separation is, because you want that part to have a little shadow, but you don't want to use black to define it because she'll look crazy. And this is what we have to do. So deep breaths and get to painting. And look at Mariah. Oh my god, Bucktooth Mariah coming at ya. Alright y'all, that looks a little better. Those teeth were cracking me up. I had to stop recording. I completely love when a person has dark brown eyes because it is the easiest eye color to paint. Makes me so happy. It'll be done in 1, 2, 3. As usual, take a small liner brush and we start with a little bit of a darker brown and then just add a little bit of a glow in the iris with some sort of like amber brown color and then a little pupil and you're done. So normally on my paints, I do not add a little light reflection point in the eye because I use epoxy resin over the eyes after I'm done painting to add that gloss that will naturally give the reflection. If you add a reflection, mark on your paint, it's just going to look fake and artificial, and when you take a photo of it, it will always look terrible. Not that epoxy resin helps when you're taking photos, it also causes, extreme shine, but it's the only way for me to get that like glossy eyeball look. So something we have to deal with and consider when painting. Alright, we're going to work on this eyeliner now. Mariah doesn't wear heavy eyeliner. She wears heavy other things, but that's a whole nother topic. She wears a fine line. We're going to take our finest brush that we have, and just kind of hold our breath and try to get these guys symmetrical and natural looking. And we're going to touch up the gum area with a little bit of Reddish Flesh by Vallejo once again. Let's get to these eyebrows. As always, I will use my smallest dry brush and get in there with a little bit of a light tan, sort of brownish color that I concocted. So I've already painted the lip in that tone that Mariah Carey likes to wear. I tried to match it as well as I could. And you'll see here that I'm just touching it up. I think it looks pretty good. I overlined as they all do. And I think I like the shape. So there you have it. The lip. The real question is, what will cost this thing? Right, Cos? Well, I think she looks cute, but this girl seriously needs some eyelashes, so let's get on top of that. We also need the epoxy resin so she gets her twinkle in the eye. And here she is after the eyelash application. I didn't feel like recording it. You guys have seen it before. I think she looks pretty good. Let me know what you think in the comments. Alright, let's get some hair on this Mariah Carey because she is looking like she's, I don't know, auditioning for Aliens. I will be using wax thread, as always, to attach the hair to this mask. I usually attach it at the temples and at the top of the head, and if it needs other places, I'll do it as well. I use an upholstery needle made for leather work, and the thread is pretty thick, so you can't really just tear it, but you still have to be careful when handling and combing these masks because they are rubber. Alright, that hair is on, and now let's just take a look at what we've got here. I feel pleased. It looks like Mariah Carey is about to scream in here. Hopefully she does not. Well, Costas, you better leave your comment and let me know what you think. And as always, thank you for joining me at Smartyink Mask Workshop, and we'll see you next time.